Hi there, on week 10 of the OrkneyBowl review. Just myself at the moment. I think Craig will be joining on once he's finished playing badminton or whatever he's doing. And we'll get cracking at it because I think he can't be bothered with the trades. So we'll go through the trades first, even though I did them yesterday. For those that didn't see it, here we have it. So in my own division, we have Rotherham Raiders picking up Chuba Hubbard and Rashad White, and Leeds Lassos picking up Bijan Robinson, which would be quite nice for later on in the season. Yeah, it's got a good trade up, and I think Rashad White scored almost as much as Bijan Robinson last week, and Chuba Hubbard didn't make it off the bench, but he'll come in handy now and again. Not sure what the bye weeks are like, but certainly hit Rotherham Raiders this week because, as you'll find out soon enough, they had a better result than Leeds Lassos did. Now we'll go on to week the second one. We've got the Plymouth 49ers adds T666, getting Johnny Smith, Roshan Johnson, and Curtis Samuel, and giving away Travis Kelce to Team Trade Frenzy. Obviously, Team Trade Frenzy, as you'll see later on, are not far away from the playoff spots, or maybe just in the playoff spots, whereas ads probably not really got much of a chance of getting in now. So personally, I think it's a bit of a one-sided trade because you're going to get more points at Travis Kelce each week than probably three of them put together. But that's what the voting system's for, and it was passed in the proper time. So if people didn't like it, they could vote against it, but I don't think anybody did. So it got through. But so it's a nice pickup by Team Trade Frenzy by giving away players that they might not even be playing anyway. Like, so we'll see how that one pans out. We'll see what Craig thinks when he comes to see it. And of course, our now highest score in 1 week comes when there's actually teams on a bye. South London Reynolds, Tony Harrison's got a whopping 334.46 points. No thanks to Dak and bloody Cowboys against the Giants, and obviously had CeeDee Lamb 44 points, but 46 points for Allen, 44 points for Hawkinson, 24 for Kamara, 27 for Eckler. You got 21 for Kincaid, 27 for Kittle. So obviously going heavy on the tight ends with the bonus points. Aubrey 7 points. Not really too much for the defenders, to be honest. David only get 12 points mostly. And nice bench as well. 19 points for Murray, nearly 14 points for Spears, nearly 20 points for Cooper, nearly 13 points for Davis. So it's a pretty impressive one considering he only got 3.45 points for Deontay Johnson after his monster game the week before. Just shows that the Steelers can't throw the ball that well enough to sustain a good running wide receiver for more than 1 week in a row. But that was a excellent result. Well done. And obviously, you'll see in a minute he's also in the Rousey Cup. So we've got second leg scores for the Rousey Cup. You've got Whitehall Tigers 175.08 to 221.56 for the Dallas Destroyers. So the Dallas Destroyers go through at 388.14 to 320.7. So well done, Dallas Destroyers. The next game, you've got the Bonnyrigg Cheesehead, 155.48 against 210.07. Whitford Educators, so I'm sure you'll hear all about it because it's had a good score. They get through 395.13 to 346.95. So well done, the Whitford Educators. Whitworth, sorry. We've got the Whitchurch Warriors, 289.72 against 247.62 EK Colts, which is a good score in yourself, but when you're coming up against, I think you're both the highest scorers in your league that week, so good matchup that one. But the Whitchurch Warriors go through 452.56 to 412.03. Then the Bognor Regis Balkans, another cracking score, 222.62 against Leeds Lassos, 177.30. Probably could have done well, Bijan actually did no bad for you that day, but I think it's just you had an off week, we could put it that way. But still, 440.4 for the Bognor Regis Falcons going through against 371.6. Next up, you've got another highest score of the week, I think. Leicester Tigers, 260.06, going up against 214.15. Our very own Graham of the Glasgow Eagles, but unfortunately, not enough to go through. Leicester Tigers go through 438.13 to 408.69. And we have the Lancaster Bombers, so 176.19, going up against 181.77 against the Kilmarnock Kings. So Kilmarnock Kings will go through 396.57 to 331.10 for the Lancaster Bombers. So well done, the Kilmarnock Kings. Also well done to Leicester Tigers, Boldon Falcons, Whitchurch Warriors. Next up, closest one. This one, you've got Ancoke Citizens, 221.78 against 171.68 Richmond Reds. Ancoke Citizens go through 416.9 against 372.19. So well done, Ancoke Citizens. A couple of the big hitters at the bottom there, but an off day for the Waterloo Warriors. So still scored 195.58, but they come up against the highest scoring team in the league and in the history of the OrkneyBowl, 336.46 points, South London Rebels. Well done, Tony Harrison. So a whopping aggregate score of 587.92 for South London Rebels, and a very respectable 404.30 Waterloo Warriors sees the South London Rebels go through. And at the quarter-finals stage, we have the Bognor Regis Falcons against the Whitford Educators. A little Maze Howe derby there, so that should be a nice, interesting one. You'll be able to keep an eye on the scores yourself during that one. Then we've got Leicester Tigers, one of the high scorers against the high scorer, South London Rebels from the Dwarfy Stain. Then next up, we have the Kilmarnock Kings at Marwick Head going up against the Ancoke Citizens of Yesnavy Division. Then we have another Maze Howe. We've got Darlow Destroyers going up against the Whitchurch Warriors from Marwick Head. So we've got 2 Marwick Head, 3 Maze Howe, a Mullhead, Dwarfy Stone, and Yesnavy. So that's 5 of the 8 divisions represented. So that's quite good. I've really enjoyed doing this. It was a bit of a nightmare to start, but it's getting to the lower games now, so it's a bit easier to hang out. I'll try and make up a video tomorrow or something like that if I've got time. One of the girls has been off sick today, so I've not much of a chance to do much. So now we'll step on to the divisions. We're going to do that one. My division. And this one here was a bit of a strange one because the top 4 teams all lost this week, and then the next 6 teams all won, so it makes it a lot closer. So I'm a bit gutted because I've never lost my second quarterback in 3 weeks, so I'm starting to maybe just take the quarterbacks out of the equation in this game and just play no quarterbacks. It'll be a lot more fun. Only because I keep on losing them. Otherwise, they're usually quite handy. So we'll go on some of the scores to see how we get on. So obviously myself, I got absolutely annihilated by the Warner Bay Warriors, 244 points to 26. But I don't think Derek Carr would have got like 70 points, so it's a bit of a moot point in the end anyway. Then Dougie got a nice win there of 208 points, 21 to poor Arthur, 168.53. Then the former number 1 team, the Stoke-on Bengals, 100, relatively low scoring for them because they're usually one of the higher scoring teams, getting 148.23, coming up against the Whitworth Rockstars, Jack, 212.13. That's him on a 2-game winning streak and moving up to 5th spot. One of the higher scoring teams, but they are now actually back to being the highest scoring teams in the division. And what was definitely the tie of the round, tie of the week, EK Colts 247.62 against 235.25 Leeds Lassos. So what happened here then? Oh, only got 6 points for Trevor Lawrence, and you still managed to score 235 points. That's pretty bloody impressive. We see that. No Dak Prescott. No points for Dotson as well. So between your wide receiver and your quarterback, you got 6 points, and you lost by 12. That's a bit of a sore one. And only 9 points for a defender, 11. That's pretty hangry. So, yeah, Devin Singler. I don't like that man. He knocked me out my own game. But Mayfield, But you wouldn't play Maple over Lawrence, to be honest. Probably would be difference in the tie. But so, like I say, you're now top of the division, Leeds Lasso, so you can't really complain too much, and you've still got your 8 wins. You've got the gaming teacher Laxdale Legends coming at 194.21 against 175.66 against Joe and the Hot Dog Hot Shots. And then down the bottom there, you've got Portsmouth Pirates coming up short against the Rotherham Raiders. We've got those 2 players in the trade. And they've got, I think you only played Richard White, so 21 points for Richard White. Then Bijan Robertson scored 23 points, I think. So I did much of a difference at the moment, but he's got you'll have Hubbard on the bench if he needs him at some point. The 2 of them together would have been enough, but the team is pretty good. Kincaid, Lockett, Najee Harris running all over Green Bay. In fact, everybody was running all over Green Bay that day, but that's closer than it probably should have been. But yeah, so that's 229 points, 7-4 for the Rotherham Raiders against the Portsmouth Pirates. So as you can see, you've got Leeds Lasso 8-2 now, Stoke and Bengals 8-2 now, myself 7-3. And dire need of a quarterback, so if somebody wants to give me one for free, I'll be very happy. The Portsmouth Pirates 6-4, with the Whitford Rockstars also 6-4. Then you've got 3 teams at 5-5 for the last playoff spot. EK Colts, Warner Warriors, and the top head 49ers. So nice and tight there. And of course, Rotherham Raiders with that great win on the 1 game behind the playoff spot. Then Laxdale Legends 2 games back. Then basically Hot Dogs and Plymouth Argyle Browns. Sorry, Arthur. You'll be playing for the bottom divisions next year, I think. So who's playing who next week? I know I'm playing a tough one. Myself against the Portsmouth Pirates. I'm still looking for a quarterback, so like I say, feel free to send me one. Preferably if they're half decent. Then you've got Stoke and Bengals hoping to bounce back after last week's lot, coming up against Doug with the top head 49ers, or top head Niners. Then you've got Jack coming up trying to cement his place by trying to get to 7-4 against Arthur and the Plymouth Argyle Browns. Then on to Leeds Lasso hoping to hoping to bounce back also and go to get to 9-2, coming up against the Joe Hodgson Hot Dog. So you would imagine they would do that. Laxdale Legends not looking great, coming up against the highest scoring team, EK Colts. It looks close there, but they just seem to be pulling it out the bag, so they'll be wanting to try and get into that final spot. Well, hold on to the final spot even. And Rotherham Raiders looking to carry on the resurgence and get up to 5-6 and put Warnerby Warriors in the same spot. And after my hiding last week, I've got to say, come on, the Rotherham Raiders. So, not being biased, but I suppose the game of the week will probably be my game, even though I am dreading it. But very, very closely followed by the Stoke-on Bengals against the top head 49ers. Oh, well, I'm guessing the quarterback will be changing because that's worse than mine. You got 2 back. Oh yeah, Tyreek Hill back. Yes, I tell you, this will be the game of the week. Stoke-on Bengals against the top head Niners. It's going to be a lot closer than what that says when you put Tyreek Hill back in and when you put Tua back in. Get rid of Badgett. Obviously, he's better than Danny DeVito, but he's no great. And then myself against the Portsmouth Pirates, who I've got O'Connell as a quarterback, so please help. Barkley, Hall. I do like the rest of my team, I just don't like my quarterback. But having lost Carr last week, Cousins on IR, it's not been a very good week for a couple of weeks of Fortnite. Oh, come up against CJ Stroud. Lovely. I think CJ Stroud's definitely winning that head-to-head in that quarterback battle anyway. Quarterback, running backs. I quite fancy my running backs a bit better. Possibly tight wide receivers. I prefer Ferguson over Thomas. Yeah, probably Ingram over Musgrove. Jones over Tucker. Oh, you need a kicker. Don't bother picking up a kicker. You'll no need them. And hopefully my defenders will do me good. Still got a hunting defence. Our one to play might get a game if Higgins just still. It's looking like he will be out. So we'll see how that one goes. I'm not telling you who I'm going for. So that was the St Magnus division. So we'll now move on to Craig's division. So he's probably quite happy he's going to be here for this one because my co-host Julie got beat again. It was a bit closer this time, 771 points to 199, but it's still a cool 1-9 record, which is not the best, which I'm sure we hear a little bit when he arrives. Apparently, he is on his way in about 5 minutes. So let's see what else we got here. We got the Ancoat Citizens 7-3 now. Oh, this is a fun one. So they're 2-game win streak moving up to third with 221 against 188.36. Then you've got the Lee Vikings 6-4, bouncing back, moving up to 6th spot, 181 to 164 against the Yorkshire Finns. That puts him down to 8th spot. Alaska Deep Freeze 238.18. That'll put them firmly in 2nd spot on a 6-game win streak, which is bloody impressive in this division because it's quite tight. Against the Aberdeen Bucks, who are now 5-5 and sitting in 7th spot. The Bedford Brewskis getting a good win. It was a battle of the 2 and 7s at the time, but still gets them on a 2-game win streak, so it puts them up to 9th after all that. 209 to 190. Unlucky Sam. 190 is a not bad score, but unfortunately not good enough today. Then you've got the 3-7 Bottom Bears, as I said, giving Craig his weekly spanking. And then you've got to feel sorry for the number was. They're still the number 1 spot at 8-2. Glasgow Eagles, 214 points, but coming up against the Godalming Goats at 7-3, so that puts them up to 4th spot for 252.02. As you can see there, it's pretty close. Got 2 8-2s, 2 7-3s, 2 6-4s, a 5-5, a 4-6, and then down to 3-7s, 2-8, and poor wee Craig down the bottom. Oh, poor Craig. He's not even here to defend himself, so it gets a bit boring. You can't slag him off when he's not here. But yeah, let's see. What was the best? That was what happened? Oh, he had the same problem I had, Graham, losing Derek Carr. No, they did not much, but they were playing catch up, so they might have had to throw a lot. CD Lamb, 44 points, so good. Herbert, that was a bit of a crazy one because he started off really bad and then just went mental. He's lost Mattison. I don't know how long he's out for. Kincaid. Two points for Tyler Bass because they were pretty pissed last night. No, I think really been much of a difference. It was a good high scoring match, and somebody had to lose, and unfortunately it was Graham. But he's still sitting on top of the table, so you can't really complain too much about that. With nearly 2,200 points, so you definitely can't complain about that. And poor Craig already conceded 2,000 points and got 165 and 1 game behind Sam. I wonder if they'd be good when they play each other. So who's playing who in week 11? So you've got the 7-3 Ancoat Citizens coming up against the 6-4 Lee Vikings. I'm guessing Peter's got a few players to put in his team. He's got Taylor on a bye, Leonard on a bye. We've got CJ Stroud on the bench, AJ Brown, Parsons, look on. They should get a little bit closer, but I don't know if it's enough to stop Ancoat Citizens in their 2-game win streak, looking for 3 and almost cementing a place into the playoffs. Then next up, you've got the Yorkshire Finns coming up against Fantasy Man. Oh, hold on. Yes, Derek, he has messaged and he is saying he's on his way because he's got to do his makeup and all that with the shiny lights for that bald head. Okay, you don't want to get too much of a glare off the head here, but I'm sure he'll join soon enough, and I will put this thing back up on your eyes just so you can see. Let's see who we got. Well, Yorkshire Pins. So 167.09 to 196.68 to the Buccaneers. So that moves him to 6 and 4. Oh, they're at 6 and 4. So they were looking to bounce back on their order. They're sitting in 5th place. But let's say it's so close up there. One loss, you drop out probably. Especially if the Aberdeen Bucks manage to beat the Darlington Rams. But it looks like it could be a close game. But obviously, the Aberdeen Bucks will be hoping that the Buccaneers slip. So the Bucks overtaking the Bucks, hopefully. You've got Alaskan Deep Freeze on a 6-game win streak, looking to make it 7 against the Bedford Brewskis. You're also on a 2-game win streak, so it's a battle of the win streaks. One slightly better than the other, but still a battle of the win streak. Poor Craig, it's not looking like he's going to get a second win this week when he comes up against the Godalming Goats at 7 and 3, looking to go for their 8th win. Craig says 8 gets you in, I'm not sure, but I'd imagine it probably is. He's probably worked out better than I have. And obviously, Graham will be looking to bounce back to get to 9 and 2. We'll probably join in Alaskan Freeze with the Bodom Bears, who did win last week, but it's a tough ask coming up against the top team. So the game of the week this week will have to be the Ancoats Citizens against the Lee Vikings. That's a very good one. Yeah, that'll be the game. Ancoats Citizens. Oh. Perfect timing. We're on your division too, and Derek's letting you a message as well. So Craig missing just like his team. Get this happened before we get to my division.
Yeah, well, fair enough. I can accept that. Slightly missing. Sorry about the tardiness, Mr. Edwards. Badminton tonight, so just in from it, and I see you're in my division, are you?
Yeah, but just be saying how you're going to get spanked again this week and go 1 and 10.
Well, I mean, it's kind of been the way, hasn't it? It's one of the, how many, see the last 3 weeks in a row, I've been high 50% favourite going into the start of the games, and I've not won any of them, and here we went again, another one that I was hefty favourite right up until Thursday night, and then he went a bit nuts on Thursday night, and I thought, oh, that's not good. But I did get 20.5 points from Louvu on Thursday night, so I thought, yeah, that's going to be okay. And then the game started, and it all went downhill.
Yeah, well, I think I was another 84 points down before the 6 o'clock games on Sunday, but I couldn't make it back this time. Not when you lose another quarterback. But no, I was just saying that the game of the week this week in your division is the Ancoats Citizens against the Lee Vikings.
Do you know, having a flick through the joys of being in Glasgow from time to time, on the bus back, I get a chance to flick through the leagues, and there's a lot of upside down games this week. There's a lot of shock results, there's a lot of close results. But yeah, massive game in mind that one was, and it opens it all up. It's all getting tight, it's all getting close. But Alaska Deep Freeze got their win to get 8 wins, against Aberdeen Bucks, puts the Bucks at 5 and 5. And we were congratulating teams with 8 wins last week. Do you know? See, looking at it now, I think there's going to be a team or two that get 8 wins and don't get in. Looking at some of the
I was just saying that just before you came on. Actually, you said that 8 is guaranteed a spot, and I'm thinking, maybe
yeah,
not.
I'm not convinced that it is now. I think 8 should get you in.
It should.
But I'm saying that you need 9 to guarantee. So everyone who's on 8, I said congratulations to last week. Let's backtrack that a little bit, and we'll say congratulations when you get to 9, because 8's, I think there'll be 8s that don't get in. But yeah, Alaskan Deep Freeze, 6 wins in a row now, and he's got Graham at the top, because Graham got beat 214 points, so he can't complain at that. But he ran into Godalming Goats at 252 points, highest in the league, and well-deserved victory there.
That was it. It was just over that saying. I'm just in the process of looking at next week's games, or this week's games. So obviously,
We're on next week's games, are we, right? So, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and your division.
Godalming Goats gets the bye this week, So they'll be going to 8-3 and almost there. Alaskan Deep Freeze up against the Bedford Bruskies, who beat me this week. So they're on a one-game win streak, but you have to think Alaskan Deep Freeze are favourites to secure their spot. Big game there with Ancoat Citizens at 7-3 playing Lee Vikings at 6-4. Lee Vikings win that. They're looking good. They lose that, and they're right in the dogfight. But they're holding the sixth spot in this division, Johnny. They're 6-4 has got the sixth spot. I mean, it's all about the playoffs right now, isn't it?
Yeah, get to the playoffs and then worry about after that.
And then worry about positions after that. So that's it. So there's a lot of teams that are now sitting waiting, not just waiting on the playoffs. But it's one of those ones. If you're at the top half, if you're at the top waiting on the playoffs, then you want to win the division, don't you? You always want to win that division. And if you're up there and you're already in with 4 weeks to go, then you've got a good chance of winning it. So you're playing for that.
You want to finish in the top too, because you'll get a bye.
Yeah, there you go. Take the bye as well, because honestly, the amount of times that the bottom seed beats the top seed is uncanny in fantasy football. Yeah. So, yeah, you definitely want one of those top two spots. So there's still plenty to play for up the top end. Down the bottom end, myself and Sam, Darlington Rams, we're kind of waiting on the playoffs now. But I tell you, Badam Bears and Bedford Bruskies at 3-7, you get yourself to 7-7, and you never know. At the end of the day,
well, that's it. Because obviously, the Bedford Bruskies are on a 2-game win streak. Again, they're coming up against a 6-game win streak with Alaskan Freeze, and it's probably not going to be that close. But still, it's a battle of the win streaks.
Listen, if they get the win, if they get that win, you go 4-7, then you go 5-7, and then you start thinking, And for all that, I think that there's in some divisions there might be a team who gets 8 wins and doesn't get in. I also think there's going to be teams that get 6-7 and get in with some of these divisions.
Well, there is that one division, and we're not quite got to it, but I think about there's 8 teams that are within a couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, it's all open. We're through week 10 now. We've 4 weeks to go. Just shit's getting real, Johnny. Shit's getting real.
It is. So we'll move on to Queen Hill next.
Let's do it. So Queen Hill, Division 3 in the East, and congratulations to Manchester Bees. They've got their 9th win, and the amount of teams that had 8 wins last week and lost is, again, uncanny. Congratulations, Manchester Bees. Well done. A 9th win in a row. Puts you firmly in the playoffs now and a great chance of winning the top 2. But I'll tell you who's... Carrollton Crew are coming, Johnny.
I know. Well, that was a close game at Blackfoot Panthers as well, and you never know. Score corrections, it might completely change that one. But yeah,
it's not going to change. It's not going to change score corrections from 4 points. That would be dreadfully unlucky. Well, there are a few teams we're going to look at.
There was one player had 3 points taken off last week.
Really?
So,
I mean, that's just ridiculous. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Bedford. Roddy was missing Patrick Mahomes, and it kind of showed. I mean, Dobster got him 32 points, so it didn't really show, did it? But yeah, he just ran into a big score, really. He had Swift out as well. And he could have played Conklin, I guess, for 22 points. But you're not going to play Conklin over either Pitts or Hill, So you just kind of have to eat that one. So yeah, good one from Manchester Bees.
Yeah, Carlton Crew, though, 275 points. It's just
nuts. Crazy. And it's like, is this not like the 3rd week in a row they've been the top scorer in this division? They're certainly on a 3-game win streak now. They've got 2,325 points, nearly 150 points more than Manchester Bees, who are in 2nd place. So it's some going, it's some scoring, and hats off to how they've got 3 losses. I don't know, but Prescott's really showing up for them now, and obviously McCaffrey's back in there. Gibbs is looking like it's not just a flash in the pan, which no one really thought it was, did they? Hawkinson,
Hawkinson 44 points. Yeah.
Do you know, I was hearing a story. Hawkinson lives down near where Dobbs is from, and see, during the summer there, they were out throwing with each other, and now he's his quarterback, so that was such a good advantage for him coming into that team, and coming in cold and having someone there who you've thrown to before and knows how you move and where you kind of your style and stuff. So yeah, very good. But the Prescott Lamb stack is really paying off for Carlton Crew.
It is although it's about the third highest score of the week, it's not even the highest score. So
yeah. There's been there was a few good scores
crazy.
this week, and there are more and more teams on 200 losing this week.
Oh, there's one below you there. Gossip Fight and Gopher 6-4 against that Glenrothes as Nasgo's 205. It's a close one.
Yeah, and it's you know, when you're sitting at 4 and 5, you know, and you score 200 points, you really need that win in those games, you know. So very unlucky for Glenrothes, but the Glossop Fighting Gophers, they're getting going now, you know, 6-4, looking quite good. What have we got in this division? It's sixth place is 6-4, but then you've got 7th and 8th, 5 and 5. You've got 4 weeks to go, so the 4 and 6s aren't dead, and far from it, you know. So Glenrothes, Nazgul's, they need to get on a win streak now, you know. They're scoring 200 points, they're going to win games, but 3-game losing streak now that's got them down there. And Edinburgh Thunderbirds, come on, Gary, get a win, pal. Even I've got one.
They'd probably beat you, though.
No doubt. But 0 on the board, and it was a great win this week also for the New Bardstown Mashers. You know, that was the kind of game of the week. You know, the 5-4 against 6-3, the 5-4-1. They're now both 6-4, and he's brought himself right into the reckoning for the, you know, into 6th spot. So holding a playoff spot, a game ahead, it's all in his own hands.
Oh, definitely. Although there'll be a couple of close games to go on that, but yeah, it's there's another division. All the games are a lot. There could be 2 or 3 that could be decided with score corrections come Thursday. Hopefully not.
But yeah, Whitehall White Tigers getting a wee lot. I mean, they're facing Carlton Crew, so you're expecting it. But yeah, it's putting you at 5-5, and the Chicago Scorpions. See the difference between losing to go 5-5 and winning to go 5-5. I think that's massive. I really do. Just if you're winning to go 5-5, then your players are playing well. If you're losing to go 5-5, not so much. And at 5-5, you need to be winning from now on. You know,
there's not much between their points totals either. But 50 points or 60 points. It's not a lot. So.
The Chicago Scorpions getting that win, 5-5, and now they're playing the 0-10 Edinburgh Thunderbirds next in week 11. You know, so great chance to get the 6th win, get yourself on a wee roll. Whereas the Seattle Patriots at 6-4, they're running into the 9-game win streak. Manchester Bees, New Bardstown Mashers I mean, that could pull Roddy back into a wee dogfight if he loses that one. You know, that's a tough game to be going into. And Glossop Fighting Gophers are playing Whitehall White Tigers as well, 5-5, 6-4. Huge. And poor Glenrothes needs to win out, really needs to win out now. And they're running into Carlton.
Unlucky, Martin. So,
yeah.
The hot team in the division, yeah.
But listen, Carlton Crew have got 3 losses, you know.
Who did you lose to?
It's certainly doable, but...
I'm going to have to look see who they lost to. Who did you lose to? They won the first one by 6 points.
Let's not forget that Prescott and Lamb haven't been knocking it out the ballpark all season. You know, they have had some dodgy games, so they'll be the weeks that is losing.
The lost week 3, 277 points, 180. So you're going to lose that one all the time.
You're going to lose that for sure.
The Patriots. The loss to the Blackfoot Panthers, 223 to 208.
But again, 200 points. The point scores say it. 150 points ahead of anyone else in the division. That's massive point scoring, you know. So Essex has had a great year.
The loss to the Manchester Bees as well. So
lost to, well, there you go. Well, we're going to Art next year on a 9-game win streak. So
that's the two. That's the loss to the 2 top teams. And
the 2 teams above them.
Yeah. And the team at third bottom.
So, you know, that's fantasy football, you know, but it's great scoring, and I'd be looking over my shoulder very, very hard if I was Roddy or the Manchester Bees, you know. But again,
they didn't play each other in the end.
Tough game this week for Roddy. You know, he lost last week. He's up against the New Bars and Mashers who really need the win. They've got Mattson, though. Mattison's out. He's gone. So that's a replacement required. But he's got Taylor's on bye week. So, yeah, that's maybe I have to go with Jeff Wilson. Maybe hunting for, that's the thing about doing it Tuesday night. You know, we don't see the first waivers going through, you know. But I think there'll be a lot of people after Ty Chandler this week. That's if he's still kicking about in waivers, then I think there'll be quite a few folk after him this week with Mattson now out and Akers on IR.
Is Mattson on concussion, is he? Or is he just
he's certainly he's showing a no at the moment. Is it a concussion? Is that what he got? I thought he was like proper gone.
I don't know. I never saw it, but the head had a bit of concussion there too. But he probably got injured as well.
Yeah,
just like Carr with his shoulder and his head.
They don't normally go on it that early unless they know for sure, you know. But yeah, but big week for. So I mean, it's a big week. It's we've got 4 weeks to go. You know, it's kind of we're in the final lap. It's a final lap of the race, so everyone has to start positioning now and getting yourself ready for the last couple of games. And the last thing you want to be doing in weeks 13 and 14 is must win. You know, you want to go into that with a little bit of leeway. If you're going into the last 2 games needing 1 win out of 2 to make the playoffs, that's an acceptable place to be, and you think you'll be confident at that point of making it. But if you're going into the last 2 games needing to win both of them, it's a lot harder, you know. So get yourself positioned now. Manchester Bees are in. They can they're just playing for the top 2 now. And with Carlton Crew coming, I think Carlton Crew will finish in the top 2. So I think second place is going to be, you know, it might be that. I think that other place is going to Manchester Bees or Bankfoot Panthers, and for it not to be Manchester Bees, they're going to need to slip up very quickly, you know. So
yeah, but I don't think they've got that harder games to go.
It's Roddy's got the Bankfoot Panthers are then playing Seattle Patriots in week 12, so that's another team chasing playoffs. Then they've got they've got the Edinburgh Thunderbirds, so that's a good game for them. And then Preston Hawks. So yeah, if Roddy can sneak himself through the next 2 weeks, if Roddy gets 1 out of 2 the next 2 weeks, then he's got to be looking good for a top 2 finish. But it's between the 3 of them for me, and I'd be very surprised by the way Carlton Crew are scoring if they aren't one of the top 2.
So what's your game of the week here then?
The game of the week here is a tough one because there are some that are exceedingly important in terms of teams losing and not being in it. So I'm going to have to go with Glossop and Whitehall because at 5 and 5, such a big diff, 5 and 6. That's whereas in 5 and 4, 6 and 4. Sorry. It kind of brings Whitehall. Well, it ties them up if Whitehall wins, so I'll go with that one. That's the game of the week for me.
Well, yeah, there's probably that, but then I would also think maybe the New Barstow Masters against Bankfoot because you got to think New Barstow, they're sitting in 6th spot.
Yeah,
Chicago scored more points, so Chicago basically, no offense to the Edinburgh Thunderbirds, get a bye this week. So they'll go 6 and 5. If the New Barstow Masters lose, they drop out the top 6.
And I'll tell you what,
I'm pretty sure they play Roddy next week as well. So it's they play another hard one after that.
Well, see if you look at it in that sense. See if you look at it like that, Johnny. So Chicago Scorpions, they win, they go 6-5, right? New Barstow Masters lose to Roddy, they go 6-5. And then you've got Seattle Patriots playing the Manchester Bees. So if they lose, they go 6-5. Not, the favourites to lose. That's 6-5. Well, and then if you get Whitehall beating Glossop, they're all 6 and 5.
Actually, depending on the scoring, Chicago could jump up to 4th because they've scored more points.
It's
so
crazy.
yeah, it's a bit of a mental one.
Yeah, and if Glenrothes and Ascalls can find a way to beat that Carrollton Crew team and get themselves to 5 and 6, it is all on with 3 weeks to go. So yeah, they're two massive games in New Marsden Mashers and Bankfoot Panthers and Glossop Fighting Gophers and Whitehall White Tigers. They're two massive games.
Cool. Now we'll finish off the East Conference. I'm glad you went on my one, so it's good. We've got the Mullhead division. It's okay. I slagged myself off for you.
I hope so, Johnny.
So
I'll to make sure.
So, bit of a sore one from the Newcastle Colts losing to the Solihull Sharks.
It was.
So
it was.
They were on a good run before that, but
they were. But you know, it keeps the Solihull Sharks well and truly alive, and you know, Sean was in the dogfight anyway, but it was a big one to lose. But I'll tell you what's a bigger one: the Preston Panthers beating the Orkney Warriors 8-1. Flying, and it's 197 to 195. That's one that a score correction could change.
Well, and also the Harrow Harlequins against the Nairn Knights. That's less. That's
correct.
Like
that's even
0.14. And also you've got the Gary could get his one against the Dolphins if that goes as well, because there's only a point in that. This league could just go. I think that's the only. Yeah, that's basically it. So you've got 3 games that could easily change on Thursday. And if they do, I do apologise, but it's got nothing to do with me. So
well, that's it's. I mean, it's like the thing. Do you know what the difference here is as well? But it's like, see for Joe and his Nairn Knights, if that score correction happens, it's the difference between 5 and 5 and 4 and 6.
Yeah,
it's the difference between being 500 or being 2 games off it, and that's it's a difference between being in it and not being in it, really.
There's also a difference in the fact, obviously, that the Harrow could be 2 games ahead of 6 Newcastle and 6, but then there'll still be 1 game back. Preston Panthers, their game's not going to get turned over. But then the Dolphins could go back to 6, and they could go to 6 and 4 if they get theirs turned over.
Preston
Panthers go back 4 and 5 to Warner.
At this stage, it's just not fair. It's just not fair. But a good win for Dublin Everton Blues. They're up to 2 wins now. That's 2 wins in a row now, up to 7 and 3, looking good. Leicester Tigers, of course, bouncing back from their loss and now catching and overtaking Orkney Warriors at the top of the division. Both on 8-2.
If that score, then the score correction could put Orkney back on top, and secure their place actually. Basically,
and
it's going to be
a place for sure.
I'm scared to look at the scores on Thursday. But
honestly, it'll be ridiculous if these games get over. It'll be ridiculous if these scores get overturned. But it is what it is. I'm afraid it's you just need to roll with the punches, and hope that it's a blip that they'll fix for next season and stop doing the score changes and just call it. But I mean, everyone down to 8-5 is on at least 500. So, and even the Solihull Sharks at 4 and 6. Not dead at all on them. Won last week, so it's all to play for down there as well. It's very much all to play for, and let's just hope that these score corrections don't come in and start messing things around.
I know it'd be a shame if it does.
And there's some big games next week as well. If you look at the top 2 next week, you get Leicester Tigers playing Dublin Everton Blues. I mean, at 7 and 3, you don't mind. You can take the loss at 7 and 3. It's you're 7 and 4. You're still favourite to get in. There's still 3 weeks to go, and 1 more win should get you there. But you get if they go 8 and 3, and Leicester Tigers go to 8 and 3. Now all of a sudden you're thinking I can top this division. So big game there, and the same goes for the next one. Orkney Warriors and Workshop Doth Rookies 7 and 3, 8 and 2 as well. It's so
to me the tie of the week is my tie of the week is the Newcastle Colts against the Nairn Knights. So Sean,
other than the fact that it's a home league derby, they are 5 and 5.
Yeah, but they're basically playing for 6th spot, depending on how things go. So yeah,
both of them at 5 and 5. It's a massive game in terms of you're coming into 3 games to go. You get that win ahead of the other, massive. But I tell Solihull Sharks and Harrow Harlequins, the Sharks need to win that as well. At 4 and 6, you need to start. you don't want to go into the last 3 games saying I must win all 3 to have any chance. And at 4 and 6, even at that 7 and 6, I'm not sure 7 will get you there. So really, Solihull Sharks, it's a must win or win or bust. And Harlow Harlequins at 6 and 5, you don't want dragged into that battle for the last couple of spots, So big game for both of them.
Definitely. Solihull Sharks had a good score this week, but then so did Harlow Harlequins. So it should be a good match. But yeah, I am looking forward to the Newcastle Colts. Mainly because it is a home leaguer, but
yeah, it's also a home leaguer, but it's massive. They could be playing for the last spot, as you say, But the Preston Panthers should win this week against Gary, get themselves to 6 and 5, put themselves in the hunt, right in the hunt, So I mean, this is going to go to the final week. This division, there's just too many. There's too many there for it not to.
Well, actually, we're saying that obviously the Newcastle Colts and their Knights are playing for 6th spot. Then the Preston Panthers outscore them by 50 points. They'd jump above them if they win.
And that's the Preston Panthers should win this week, so they will be going above one of them.
Yeah, I just mentioned how many points they score. That's all it is. But yeah, it's.
Fifth still on, is it? 6 and 4, and even the 7 and 3s. The 7 and 3s could lose 2 games in a row, and all of a sudden they're 7 and 5, and
what Orkney are playing against the Dort Rookies, so that'd be 6, 7, 6, yeah.
And Dublin Everton Blues have got Leicester Tigers, so it's they're both playing against teams that are above them in the league this week. So it's big games for them, and I know that you can afford the loss at 7 and 3, you can, but
but then depends who you're playing after that. So.
It's when you're playing Leicester, they're playing the top 2 teams, so they'll have they're getting the top teams out of the way, So they've got, but then Workshop are playing Preston Panthers in week 12, and that if they should win this week, go 6 and 5. And then all of a sudden it's they're looking and thinking I can catch you this week. So yeah, I mean there are tough ones to come for them, but. At 7 and 5.
If you look at the points, though, like the Rookies have only scored 1,600 points. The nearest to them below them would be the bottom team.
Yeah,
that's all the teams that scored less. They've obviously come up with good matchups.
I mean, do you know what? You know what I always say, Johnny. You can only beat what's in front of you, and that's it. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of fantasy NFL as well, and that. You can only beat what's in front of you, and sometimes you're going to come up against a stinker of you're going to have a bad week and win, and sometimes you're going to have a great week and lose.
Yeah,
and it's it just makes that's what makes it so sweet, So yeah, you can be sitting in 4th spot on 7 and 3 with just 1,671 points.
But then when it comes to the playoffs and the Scarabray Cup, it goes on points scored.
And
to get to the final, so then that's where you want your team to score.
But once you come to the playoffs, it's you're in a completely different part of the league season. Then you've got players who weren't playing well now playing well, players who were playing absolutely brilliant. I mean, how many times does the 8th seed beat the 1st seed in our home league? It's like all the time, to the point where it's not even a surprise anymore. There's more 8 seeds won our.
That's because they got us in the playoffs. Yeah.
It's you go in and your players all of a sudden stop playing. They're not playing anymore. They come up against a hard. They've got a hard matchup, whereas the 8th spot's got a better matchup games and they win. It happens all the time. It's all about getting in, get in and take it from there, and get in as soon as humanly possible, so you don't need to sit and worry about it.
So we'll move on to the West Conference in the Happy Valley. So we've got a nice win by Drever and Yeovil winners.
So this is a real tight one. Top of the division's got 3 losses, 7 and 3. The Gothenburg Angels. That's all the way down to 8th place, or on it. It's 7th place, 6 and 4, winning record all the way down. So a 6 and 4 is sitting outside the playoffs right now in this division.
Yeah, well, I think Gothenburg Angels are the only one in the top 3 that Yeovil, yeah. So Bonnyrig lost,
Bonnyrig were the only ones to lose, but there is a division. We're on 4 lost.
Richmond Reds also lost, and they dropped down 3 spots to 7th.
They did, yes, and that's that's just the way of this division.
It's a brutal one.
Team Lemony Fresh were on that run after getting screwed. They were on the run, but they've got beat this week, so the win streak is over for Lemony Fresh. Unfortunately, they were beaten by Turbinville Titans, who got themselves to 6-4.
You should rename it Happy Valley to the Valley of Death. This one.
I'll tell you who I wouldn't want to be. I would tell you who I wouldn't want to be in this division, and that's Bonnyrig Cheeseheads, unfortunately, because they're on a 2-game losing streak now, so something's not quite going right, whatever it may be. And it's kind of, when you see everyone around you win, and then you're that lonesome red, 2 losses in a row.
Without looking at the tie, I'm guessing it's either got loads of Chiefs or loads of Dolphins.
Yeah, he's got Waddle, and that's it.
Is that it?
Waddle is it. But he played Bentley, who was out, but then he's only got Quay Walker, who was also out. And, he doesn't want to lose Quay Walker. He doesn't want to swap out any of his outfield players. So, I get playing that. I do get it. He's kind of just said, right, okay, this isn't the week. But Hubbard didn't let him down quite badly. Dotson with a goose egg, Everett with a goose egg, 2 zeros. There you go. You can't have 2 zeros.
Yeah.
It's there's nothing. He's got Connor back off IR, so that he'll be coming back in this week. But yeah, Cousins and Williams gone, but it's looking like a long old. He's going to need players to start turning now. He's going to need Joe Allen to start doing better. I mean, what's going on with Josh Allen? What's happening with him?
That's a mystery.
And it's Thielen's starting to show his age now. It's I used to really like this team. I really did, and I'm kind of looking at it now, and I'm seeing the holes in it as we get into the important part of the season. So yeah, I hope they turn it round. Obviously, being from Bonnyrig and being a cheesehead, I really hope they turn it round. But of all the teams that are sitting there at 6-4,
yeah, and obviously you've got Quebec Lightning are on a 2-game win streak to get up to 6-4.
Followed up top scoring in the whole entire league last week. They're only about 194 points, so that's a wee bit of a steal for Brief,
Obviously a close one there between Yeovil and Dickens Heath, 230 to 221. It's a bit of a sore one, getting 2-2-1 and losing.
Yeah, 2-2-1 and losing is horrible. It's anytime you hit the 200 mark, anytime you hit the 200 mark and lose, it's you've run into a score and it's unfortunate.
Well, the Richmond Reds were sitting up near the top and ended up coming up against a high scoring team. Didn't score many points themselves, but had 248 points.
Yeah, and then that's the Darlington Dragons there, and see that's your players are obviously in form, scoring 248 points. You're now up to 4-6. It's absolutely still right in the hunt. I tell you, Team Lemony Fresh at 4-6 as well. They're still right in the hunt too. It's they're 2 games. The problem they've got here is they're 2 games off, and there's only 4 to go now, so they do need to start winning.
Yeah. If the Dragons or Lemony Fresh don't win this week, you can basically they will be rolled out, I think. So
yes, absolutely, 100%.
The other good thing they've got is everybody's going to be playing against each other, so not everybody can win.
The good thing
I can't pick.
The good thing for Lemony Fresh as well is they've got the Guildford Raptors, so that's all 1-9, so that's always going to help.
Yeah.
But Darlington Dragons have got the Bonnyrig Cheesehead, so one of them's got the 1-9 at the bottom, and the other one's got the 6-4 who's out of form. So they could both very much keep their chances going, and we could be heading into 3 week, the week 12 with 10 teams realistically got a good chance of making the playoffs in this division.
Well, that's the other thing. So, just on hypothetical, if the Quabbacks beat Yeovil, they'll be 7-4. It'll be 7-4. If the Turbobulls beat the Gothenburg, it'll be 7-4, 7-4,
7-4.
And if the Richmond, either one of Richmond, Red, or Norwich must have been, are going to be 7-4. Cheeseheads pull it around. They could be 7-4.
They could be, but 7-4's not in.
No, but it's going to be mental with so many teams that could be 7-4.
It's so tight. But then it could go. But then flip that the other way, Johnny. You know, the Turbinville Titans could win and go.
Well, that's what
7-4.
They win to go 7-4.
The other way. If the Gothenburg Angels beat the Turbinville Titans, they go 8-3. But the Turbinville Titans are then only 6-5. If Keybanks Lightning, they'll go 7-4. Sorry, if Yeovil Winners beat them, then they're back to 6-5. If Bonnyrig loses, they're 6-5.
It's Quabbacks, Craig.
Quabbacks, same thing.
But you've been in that street, you daft it.
I'm sure. I know.
Still, you did have a hangover, so yeah.
Doesn't mean I can pronounce it. But yeah, Dixon Heath Demons, they're sitting there at 5-5. You know, they beat Cork Red Army, which is very, should happen. And they're 6-5. So this league is so tight, it's untrue. You're right, the 7-4s could get themselves, kind of a wee bit ahead, because if they win, if they win, then they're knocking the other ones down a little bit. But this league's tight.
Yeah, it's very tight. But no,
I'm sticking with my Bonnyrig Cheeseheads, though. They're going to turn that around this week. They're going to beat Darlington Dragons, and they're going to kick on and win this division.
Well, I'm hoping my one sticks up there, because it was the Gothenburg Angels, so they're sitting in the top at the moment. We'll go on to Maze Howe, Division 2.
Maze Howe.
The trade capital of the OrkneyBowl.
The trade capital, though, it is, isn't it? There's been a lot of trades in this one. And it's to be fair, the Portland Lumberjacks, they got their bloody nose with Kelsey on his bye week, but the star that they brought in was on his bye week, and so they lost. That's acceptable. Still 7-3, losing to the Bognor Regis Falcons, who also go 7. Again, this is another one with nobody with 8 wins. It's but the thing about this division is there is now a 2-game gap opened up between 6th and 8th. The Crew Juggernauts, Rhiney Cardinals, and Cavite Porkers, they're not dead, not by a long way. They're now 2 games behind.
A 6-game losing streak for the Crew Juggernauts. That's such a turnaround, isn't it? It was like 208 points, but then they came up against 218. So,
and it's when you're scoring 208 points, it's a bit harsh that you get the defeat. It's a bit unfair.
Don't forget this one, Craig. Don't forget this one.
Yes. Pork lost, but the losing, the win streak is gone.
The win streak's gone.
But it's like 142 points. What happened? Well, Pollard happened, I guess. Pollard's killing me in some places. It's Pierce, nothing. Shakir, nothing. Mingo, nothing. Yeah, tough week for Port. But, I mean, he did have Pacheco on bye. He did have Smith on bye. He had Waddle on bye. He had Puka on bye.
You had a big bye list, yeah.
It's but now here's the thing, right? Here is the thing. Joe Burrow, 29.53 points. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's good. But you've got 53 point Dak Prescott on your bench, and you've got 32 point Sam Howell on your bench. Why? What's the point? You're not playing them over Burrow. Why are you wasting spots? Port, sort it out.
Yeah. Although the way things are going, I probably would have still played Prescott against the Giants.
I take it back. I don't take it back. But
it still wouldn't have made a difference. He wouldn't have won, but he probably should have played Prescott against the Giants.
No,
we are shit.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't have either, Johnny. And do you know why I wouldn't have? Because I kind of figured that game was going to be over by the end of the first quarter, which it pretty much was, and they were going to sit Prescott for the second half. I mean, the
thing is, it was so, but it's Dallas against the Giants. They like to run it up. You know what I mean?
If he'd have taken an ouchie, that would have been a it would have been silly, you know. But and not only that,
I'd have been laughing my fucking head off if they did, but unfortunately they didn't. So.
They came out and took. They came out in second half, and it's like, what will we do? We're this far ahead, and they've got absolutely nothing. They can't touch us. I know what we'll do. Let's keep throwing the ball. It's like, what are you going to just give Pollard the ball, please? Anyway, it's.
Well, he had it on the goal and he couldn't get in. So yeah.
I mean, the Birmingham Giants 3-7. I guess if you win 4 in a row, and who knows, but they do have a bit of big decisions. And when they get to the playoffs, it's going to be massive decisions to make. You know, Tua or Kyler Murray, because Kyler Murray looked quite good yesterday on Sunday.
Well,
I'm not saying he looked wonderful, but you know, that's his first game in about what, a year?
It was just typical Kyler. He's 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, almost gets sacked and gets a 10-yard gain.
Yeah, exactly.
He spends more time running backwards because the fat boys can't catch him, and then he runs up and gets a first down.
But that's what he does.
I can't stand him, to be honest.
It's I mean that's what he does. But I mean, there could be gaps opening up in this division. You know, if Crew Juggernauts, Rhino Cardinals, and Porkers all lose this week, it's a long way for them. And I would say that it's down to just 7 teams for 6 places. You know, Darlow Destroyers got a great win this week, and against the Whitworth Educators as well, which keeps them kind of still interested. Yeah, you know, with great win, 220 points.
You see a shock one. I know it was a good win for Scott, 197 against 185 Sandbach, which puts them back to 5-5 instead of 6-4. So keeps them in 6th spot, but then they're all breathing down their neck.
You know, it keeps them interested as well, Gloucester Wolfpack, because you know, at 2-8, forget about it. But at 3-7, you know, you get on that, you win 4 in a row and see what happens. You're not completely dead yet. Good win for Burnham.
Because obviously, all the other games, the teams down the bottom there have not got a hope in hell, but here, they've all got a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a good win for Burnham Trash Pandas as well. You know, to go 6-4 against the Belfast Benchwarmers, who were done all. It was them that got the trade, wasn't it? The handful, with Kamara and such. So and that was with Mostart on a bye week and the team. So Burnham Trash Pandas played.
Dotson got duck egg on the other team. So yeah,
bloody pet hate of mine when folk win when they've got leave by folk in. It's just a pet hate. Anyway, there was a good 230 points. You can't complain. You know, it's a great score, but fill your spots.
Was that the highest scoring team of the week? It was as well. So high scoring team with one player missing.
So it just goes to show you, you know. But great win there. And as I say, this is just so tight. It's so tight up the top. I mean, anyone down to 6th place could win this division. 7th place could win this division quite easily, you know. Just 2 games back. But it's Crew 208 points. Think you're turning it round, and you lose again. It's hard to
looking at next week. I can't see Belfast Benchwarmers coming up against Whitford Educators with half their team in a bye. We're going to win.
No, that will be a difficult one, I would say.
Yeah. Rhino Cardinals could get to 5 and 6 against Wolfpack. Or
Belfast
both 4 and 7 for 5 and 6.
Not looking good for Belfast there at 5 and 5.
No.
Not looking good for them at all. And Darlow Destroyers, Burnham Trash Pandas need to get in and get their team done because they've got a big one this week. Darlow Destroyers, if they can come in and give it and beat them, it'll put them both 6-5, and it would really bring Burnham into the playoff chase. You know, he's got Moss on a bye week, but that's no real big. And Darlow's only get Douglas on bye week, so I mean it's pretty much full steam ahead for both. So here's a question for you.
If Darlow beat Burnham, then Darlow will be above Burnham in points difference, so they'd be jump up an extra spot. What's the question?
Here's a question for you, and that again, why are you giving yourselves these headaches? Lamar Jackson or Russell Wilson? Who are you starting this week? Russell Wilson playing Minnesota and Lamar Jackson playing Cincinnati. On the other side, even bigger headache. Who you playing, Johnny? Geno Smith against the Los Angeles Rams in LA, or Dobbs against Denver in Denver, Mile High, where the ball flies further?
Dobbs.
That is the headache that these two guys have given themselves this week. So it's Jackson or Wilson for Burnham. And Darlow, I've got to pick between Smith and Dobbs. I'm inclined to go with you. I agree with you in the sense that I would go with Dobbs over Smith this week. I really would, because Geno's
he's not been great. Dobbs Dobbs will get his running points as well. He's been playing well.
He will.
And he might even get Jefferson back this week.
He might
not get many targets. He'll be at a limited snap count probably, but he'll be on the field taking players away from Addison.
And Andy's favourite target,
Hawkinson.
Hawkinson, yeah. And he's got Hawkinson. Darlow Destroyers has Hawkinson. I would be stacking Dobbs and Hawkinson if I were him. He's got Smith in at the moment, but we'll see what happens. And for Burnham, you can't not play Lamar for me. You just can't not play him. But I would not be surprised if Wilson outscores him this week. So yeah, big decisions for those two to be made, and headaches that you don't need to give yourself, don't have them on your bench. And then crew juggernauts, they really need to bounce this week, or it's over for them, you know. They'll still get they've not done their team yet, but they've got Swift back off bye, they've got Cooks to come in if they want, they've got Orton back off bye. But other than that, it's like, do you stick with Will Levis?
I'd probably go for Mayfield actually against that dodgy 49er secondary of it, because you like to toss the ball. You've got Evans and Goodwin. And is it Trey? What was the name of Palmer gets your touches? You've got Swift on the bench. He'll probably be playing.
Yeah, he'll stick Swift in for sure. And he might have Achan back. He might be back this week. That would be good news. Yeah. Not sure I'd be playing him the first week he comes back. Just wait and see what happens. But yeah, that. But then of course
Sam back will be playing. He'll be putting in Mahomes over Pickett.
He will be, but he's got to replace Taylor. JT's on his bye week. And how disappointing!
But Connor will go from the flex into running spot. He'll do better come the playoffs. He'll be all right. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not inclined to disagree with you. And you know, Henry turns up, and there's no. My worry there is, and I've got them in quite a few. But my worry is that they're going to be dead by the time our playoffs come around, and they're going to be giving Spears more and more chances to see what he can do. You know, that would be my biggest worry about Henry at the moment. But yeah, big game there. In fact, for me, that's the game of the week. Sandbach Sunsets against Crew Juggernauts. Crew lose and they're absolutely dead to the world. And Sandbach at 5-5, they really need the win as well. They don't need to be tying it up with Crew, you know. So that there is the game of the week for me.
I know. I just feel sorry for Crew. You know what I mean? They started off so well, and 6 game losing streaks are sore one.
Yeah, they happen, and I mean, he does have. There are, you know. He lost Achan, he lost Richardson, you know, so it's tough. It's a tough game, Johnny.
You got a nice one down the bottom there, Cavite Porters against the Bognor Regis Falcons, but
yeah, again, it's a must-win for Cavite, and Bognor have got that, you know. But if you've got eyes on the top two, they need to keep winning because there's just too many of them up there, you know. Up and around and close to it. And if you lose at 7-3, you're bringing the 5-5s. If they can win, it brings them right back into it. I get behind you, you know, with just 3 games to go. You keep your 2 games against them, and it kind of not you with three to go. I'm comfortable. 2 wins, 3 to go. I'm saying that I'm going to win that. You know.
Well, my game of the week will be the Burnham Trash Banders against the Darlow Destroyers, because I think that will be close.
Yeah, and it's a huge game. It's a huge game, and they've both got such big decisions to make.
I'll be interested to see the decisions, but we'll find out next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the Marwick Head division. Looks like nearly all the away teams won this week on this thing.
Right, so it would be very, 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 very rude of me Not to say well done, Aaron, but it would be very rude of me not to start with Kilmarnock Kings getting their asses handed to them. Don't you think?
Yes. Well, he has been waiting for it, so.
Well,
Yes, it was a bit of a.
I mean, 181 points. It's meh, innit? It's meh. But let's see what happens. So Lamar Jackson, it's the Lamar Jackson problem that I have myself in this.
And the Mattison problem too.
And he's got a Mattison problem there now as well. But I mean, starting Noah Brown was a good call, and he's got Thielen, who's shown his age. Kamara will do fine. Hill's going along just fine now, but he had Brown on bye week, so that's a big player to be missing, and you can have half a point back for that. But yeah, it's 7-3, so it's a bit of who cares, innit? It's 7-3, but you don't want to lose this week, and a good win for Southampton. To be fair, getting themselves to 7-3 as well.
This division, though, if you look at the top six, is nearly.
It's good, nearly done.
The top six.
Yeah, it's nearly done. I knew there was a league that was coming up that was like this, and this is the very one. The top six are now 2 clear of Chester Hurricanes. So Chester Hurricanes, Nottingham Rebels, Bangham Sharks, Peterhead Bloody Jet. Oh no, sorry, they're gone. That's those 3.
Yeah, but
really need to win out.
But then it was a show me the money derby, and the Peterhead Bloody Jets did beat the Bonnie Red Cowboys.
It was a family derby.
So there you go.
It's a bloody nose for Graham over Christmas when he's away up at the top there. All Mark's going to be talking about over Christmas dinner is, I still stuffed you, I still got you. So yeah, I
bloody hope so.
I mean, Graham's in 5th place on 7-3, so it's. But at the same time, he as you say, he's got 3 games with 40 plays, 3 clear of 7th place. So it's all about the playoffs now for Graham. Would he like to get the top 2 to get the bye? Absolutely. But it's all about the playoffs.
He can thank Sean for that, because obviously Sean came up big with 218 points against 100. Well, it's only 100, but he came up big against the Chester Hurricanes.
He did, and it keeps him alive.
Give them that 3 games. So.
It does keep him alive. It keeps Sean alive, and it keeps him there. But yeah, big win for Mark. It really is. I know it's 3-7 and he's dead anyway, but it's a big win for him. Trust me. And of course, Aaron, bouncing up. You've got to feel for Ads again, scoring 200 and odd points and losing. He's done that. He scored 2,000 points, Johnny.
But remember, this was the trade that you missed the start of. Ads traded away. Did he trade away Kelsey in this one?
Oh,
yeah, he traded. Well, I'll find the trade. Hold on, where is it?
So it was good, great win for Aaron. No, he really needed that as well. So it kind of.
There you go.
Well,
Ads traded away Kelsey and got Curtis Samuel, John Smith, and Rashawn Johnson.
Fair enough.
So Melbourne Supremacy, sitting at 7-3, just picked up Kelsey for 3, basically. Well,
maybe these
backups.
Yes. So, he's laughing all the way to the bank, really, isn't he?
And I think he dropped one of them too, because he's got Samuel on the bench.
Do you know what the thing is about that trade, though? Do you know what the thing is about that trade?
I don't see Johnson anywhere.
People might look at that and think, that's about that. That's low. Oh, that's no fair. That's no fair. But Ads has now got he's got a completely different game now. He's now looking and saying, I'm in the toilet bowl. I want to get into Division 3. So getting 3 players that are serviceable for 1 is a good thing for a team who's 2-8. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but
as much as obviously the Kelsey going is a big thing for Melbourne Supremacy, and he's not losing much off the back of it. Ads is also gaining 3 serviceable players, and he obviously hasn't had many serviceable players because he's 2-8. So I see the logic to that trade.
Yes,
so it's,
and obviously he's not unless Taylor Swift said there's not done much the last few weeks either. So
it's and he hasn't, and that's the thing. And let's not forget, Kelsey's getting old. Kelsey's no a young pup anymore, But I mean, it's at the end of the day, he's still a number one tight end, and he's still going to get a lot of touches. And Kansas, the Chiefs are looking very good, but that's there. So Aaron's kind of problem as his wide receivers, and T. Higgins getting on the bloody pitch for a start, because that's annoying me too. And of course, he had Waddle on bye week this week, but he's coming back. So yeah,
me too.
He's doing okay as a laddie. Doing better than me anyway, that's for sure. Doing better than Pops.
Yes. And obviously the team of the week in that division was the Whitford Warriors, 289
It was,
points.
yes. It's and again, Nottingham Rebels.
Feel sorry for the Rebels, 227.
You're sitting at 4-5, and you score 227 points, and you go to 4-6. It's just that kind of shit's hard to take, But 200, I'm assuming 289 points was the best of the week. Oh, you're too late, Derek. Nope. You missed it. But yeah, we can repeat how much Commander King's got the last handed to them if you want.
The best of the week was the highest score ever in OrkneyBowl history, and there's still
was it?
Come to it. Yes.
Oh, right. There we go then.
It's in the last division. So,
but yeah, 289 points. Great score from Whitechurch.
That was the second highest score, I think. But this is so who we got this week? So we got Melbourne against Royal Arsenal. That'll be a good one.
Well, that's
big game.
It's a much bigger
Kelsey
game
in the team.
Yes, it's a much bigger game for Aaron than it is for Melbourne Supremacy, that one, because it's Aaron. So, all the 7 and 3s have got one over Aaron, in the sense that they're one up. But he's the one looking over his shoulder right now, So if he can win that game, he's not looking over his shoulder as much because he's got company there in 7 wins, Well,
that's the thing. If he wins that game, or if he loses that game, and Bangor beat the Peterhead bloody Jets, they're only one game back.
And then it's game on. And if the Nottingham Rebels beat the Kilmarnock Kings, which is wouldn't be beyond the realms after 220-point week, they're obviously playing quite well. The Kilmarnock Kings are playing shit because they just lost. So
Chester come back and beat the Bonnie Rigs. That would really put Graham in a skiddy bit.
All the 7 and 3 been nuts if one either Whitchurch or something too late here. But he wins this week and it's and he's not dead yet. Just keep winning, keep winning, Sean.
Who else is here? I'm going to see who else he's got. He's got that. Then he's up against Graham the week after.
Yeah.
And then he's got the Whitchurch Warriors. Not getting any easier for him.
Yeah,
and
so it's
the last one. He's basically playing a 6-4, 7-3, 7-3, 7-3.
Yeah, so I mean, but at the end of the day, he's winning. He's on a 3-game win streak, so it's all possible,
Mm-hmm. So he's got this one here. If he gets this one, then after that, it's all 7 and 3s.
1 week at a time.
Or 7. It could be 7 and 4s by the time it gets to him, or 7 and 5 by the time it gets to him, depending on how they get on. Oh, Derek's gone.
I mean, the top 6 are the top 6 are the top 6, and I would be very surprised if the top 6 right now are not the top 6 come in the season. But it's very much open to what one's going to be top, because I do not know.
No, it's going to be a good one. So we'll go on to the final division, Dwarfy Stain.
Well, as the highest. 336 points. I see it. Not only is it 336 points, it's the 9th win, so congratulations, South London Rebels. You will be hitting the playoffs this year.
Well, I think I've not inputted the scores for the Charity Bowl, but Tony's been leading that for the last 3 weeks.
Has he?
For the overall points total, so yeah.
Yeah, massive week for him this week.
And a good win for the Kirkwall Derby for Alan. Yeah.
Yes, well,
Prescott Lamb.
He needed to have, well, he didn't need to. He's on 8-2. He's going to be in the playoffs, but it was it's a massive win just to keep him on the tails of South London Rebels in case they slip up. You get the win of the division. But he's got a 1-game win for the bye. He's one up on 3rd place for the bye week, so very much in it. But I mean, see this one, this league, this division really is a dogfight, Johnny, and I mean a dogfight. 4 and 6 is holding the final playoff spot, so everyone in 3 and 7's last, so everyone's in it.
Yeah, and Manchester Spinners, your selection to win the division, 1.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're 3 and 7, but 1 game behind the playoffs. So look, everybody's in this one. It's going to be a massive finish. You've got South London Rebels. Tata, see, you're number 1. You know, you're in. Kirkwall Raiders are going to be in. The 7s are not going to fail to get in here. You know, the 2 7 and 3s are going. Lancashire Bombers at 7 and 3, they're going to get in. You like to think South Carolina Broncos at 6 and 4 are going to make it, because I think this is a division that it might be a 6-7, a 6-8 sneaks in. I really do.
That possibility.
So it's so I mean, it's everyone in this. See, everyone, South London Rebels aside, because they're gone, and probably Alan aside now, he's gone. But everyone's a big win in this division.
Definitely. Well, that was it. South Carolina Broncos that they lost to the Manchester Spinners.
See, I told you there was a reason I picked them. But yeah, I mean, they're on a 6-game win streak now. Alan's now on a 4-game win streak, so you got to tick their. You know, they've ticked the boxes. They will probably be the top 2. But everything it's just so all to play for here. I mean, when you look at next week's games, every game looks important. You know, Lanarkshire Bombers are up against the South London Rebels. They're at 7 and 3. You know, so they could solidify a place with a win here. But they're up against the South London Rebels.
South Carolina's have got Taylor in a bye, Pittman in a bye, Thomas is out in a bye. So, he's got Tariq Hill will be back, so that's okay. Kelsey will be back. Wagner.
Yeah, so he's got his players coming back in. You know, it's but so it's one of those. You know, every game looks tough. You know, Dobbo's Darlow Diamonds at 4 and 6. They're playing Gorgie Vikings, who are bottom of the league, 3 and 7, but 2-game losing streak now for Grote as well. So he does need to. He's desperate for a win. Dobbo's Darlow's Diamonds, you know, they're the ones who are holding 6th place at the moment, but they are on a 3-game losing streak. So it's a 3-game losing streak against a 2-game losing streak. I would say that the loser of that game's not looking tidy. Manchester Spinners, they're playing the Wakefield 49ers, who are 4 and 6, so that's another massive one. London Eagles up against Kirkwall and Allen, you know, and so they're desperate for the win, so it's a tough game for Allen. They need the win. Kirkwall Cowboys, Keltman at 5 and 5, you know, he needs to bounce back again, playing the Fullwood Patriots, who are 4 and 6. And then you've got the 5 and 3 playing Michael, the 3 and 7 Bluetoon Texans. So it's
the Fullwood Patriots on their bench have got Tua, Swift, AJ Brown, Elliott to come back.
Yeah, they'll all be back in. You know, you're definitely not playing Badging over Tua, that's for sure. But I tell you what, if Fields is back, then you've got a headache. Then you've got a real headache, because Fields with his legs as well. That's a real headache you don't want. Kirkwall Cowboys have got the same blooming headache as well. Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, and Sam Howell. Howell's playing against the Giants. Goff's playing against Chicago. But you can't not play Lamar, so why are they even there? And meanwhile, you've got kind of, you know, what have you got in your bench for elsewhere? You've got you've got Smith to come in, I guess, and Juju's not bad. But you've got no tight end there. You know, you've got 2 tight ends playing, I guess. Shut up, Craig. I still wouldn't be sitting with the 3 quarterbacks. You know, that's just crazy. But a lot of changes to be made in that game this week with what's on the benches.
It should be a good game.
It should be. You know,
that'll be my tie of the game, actually. The Fullwood Patriots against the Cowboys.
I mean, it's a massive, massive game. What one was that? For me, it's the Wakefield 49ers against Manchester Spinners, because winner is going in the right going the right direction, and the loser, it's tough to come back from losing this late in the day, you know, getting on a wee losing streak right at the wrong time. So yeah, I'll go for that one.
Very good. And that's a wrap up. You missed my division, thankfully.
Week 10, Johnny. Week 10, nuts. 4 weeks to go. It really does, you know, shit's getting real now, as we say. If you're in the hunt for the playoffs, then you really just need to keep winning. And, you know, if you're chasing the top of the division, then you need to keep winning. So you need to keep winning, basically. Yeah. But it gets real now.
Like I say, I've already lost Cousins and I've now lost Carr. He's on a bye week this week anyway, but it's not looking good. There's not many quarterbacks in free agency.
It's fine. You're sitting there fighting. No, it's you're looking at
I'm playing the team below them this week, so if I lose this one, then it's no biggie. Because like in my division, the top 4 all lost this week.
Yeah. I knew there was a division where the top 4 all lost. It just tightens
and then the next 6 all won. Then of course, Leeds Lasso's jumped above Stoke because they scored more points.
Yeah, but they both lost. Yeah, that's I knew there was one that the top 4 all lost. But that's just you know, at the end of the day, season starts here for a lot of people now. You know, it's and I'm just waiting on playoffs now and trying to find a little bit of form. I'm hoping my players find a little bit of form. You know. That's all I can do, and hope that I can knock it out of the park in the toilet bowl and go and win that and get myself into Division 3.
Consolation, Craig, not the toilet bowl. OrkneyBowl's too classy for toilets. It's still outside. Piss for the wind behind you. It goes about 40 miles.
Same shit, different day. I would call that.
Yeah. Well, no, that was my team this week. But yeah, no, it
should be a good week this week. I think it's going to be. I think the picture will be a lot clearer in a good few divisions next week. Don't get me wrong; it'll be even messier in others. But I think the picture will be a lot clearer in a few divisions next week, and we'll be able to see who's in and see who's not, and see who's in the dogfight. You know, we'll have maybe three or four in. 3 or 4 not, and 3 or 4 in the dogfight is how it'll be.
Yeah, there will be a couple of debates, and you'll be going, "What the fuck?" And then there will be obviously you got to imagine Leeds Lassos and Stoke will win this week. I think they're playing each other, so that'll get them to 9 wins.
Yeah, so one of them. Yes,
walking at the top.
But yeah, it's going to be. Yeah. It's an interesting meet. You want to get yourself over the line as quickly as possible. You don't want to end up having to go into the last 2 weeks needing 2 wins, or going into the last week needing the win. You know, you want to get there. You want to have a nice, comfortable final week, I would say. So to do that, the winning needs to start now.
Yes. So good luck, everybody, and good luck to you this week, Craig, and good luck everybody else that's playing apart from
Douglas.
No offense, Doug, but we mean it. Good luck.
We do.